Hey folks, it's Dave back again playing some more basketball here on the channel as I play some regular season basketball again. And I'm going to play some playoffs using regular season basketball. We're going to have a playoff series between the 76ers and the Celtics. The Celtics will have the home court advantage. And I have this all set up, so I have games 1 and 2. Games 3 and 4, and games 5, 6, and 7 all laid out ready to go if we need any of these extra games. As you can see, I have the modifications all set for Philadelphia. When we did the math, it was minus 11 in the modification table, and the Celtics at home was only minus 2. Games 3 and 4 in Philadelphia, the Celtics are minus 6 on the road. Philadelphia is minus 7, so a little bit closer on the road. And then, of course, we alternate for games 5, 6, and 7. We're just going to do a straight-up roll on this one. You can see my ball roller here underneath me. I have 2 sets of dice all set to go. The 76ers will be the red and the white, and the Celtics will be the green and white. I'm going to roll both time signatures at the same time. So meaning that, when I roll here, it would be 21 for Philadelphia and 21 for Boston, and I'll just put that in the score sheet. 21 Philadelphia, 45 Boston. So you get the gist of it. So I think that would speed things up since we're just keeping score, so I can roll both time segments at the same time. So as you know how this game plays, you come over here on the chart and you have the first 3-minute segment, you roll the dice, put in your score, factor in any modifications, and you go 4 times in each quarter, and that gives you a total for the first quarter, and you just continue on. You continue on. Each team gets 16 rolls, and if we need overtime, we'll go to overtime. So for kicking things off first, in game 1 at the Garden, here comes our first roll. 26 and 26 is 8. We minus 2, that's 6 points for the 76ers. A 6 and a 4 for Boston, and their only modification is here, so that would be 8 points. So the Celtics, after 3 minutes, lead this one 8-6. Now we're going to roll again. A 26 gives them 8 minus 2 is 6 again, so 6 more points for the Celtics. For the 76ers. Celtics pick up 4. So they lead this one now. Oh, no, it's tied now, 12-12. All right, tie game. 46 up on the board for 10 points. No modifications. That's a good job right there by the Sixers. And the Celtics can only come up with 7 points. So Sixers lead 22-19. Last roll of the first quarter. 52 for Philadelphia. That gives them 7 points. A good, strong quarter. And a 45. Good, strong finish. 9 points for the Celtics. Give them 9. And so 29-28 after the first quarter. The visitors lead here in game 1. Minor upset brewing. Here's the roll. A 24. Each team gets a 24. 2-4. So that's 6 minus 1 is 5. And a 2-4. Did that again, didn't I? Is 6. And so now we're tied at 34. Oh, boy. 11. And that's why you can only put a modification of minus 2. You can't do any more because your lowest roll is a 2. So if there was a modification of minus 2, then you'd have 0. If you had more of a modification, then you'd be in a negative, and that wouldn't work in the game. So you can only have a maximum of minus 2 in the modification table here. So it's only 2 points. But the Celtics only come up with 4 points. So the Sixers might have got away with them there. They trail by 2. 56 now. That's 11 points. Minus 2 is 9. That's a good section right there. 1 and 6 for 7. And so we're tied at 45 right now. Hopefully my math is correct on this. 12. That's not a good way to end up that half right there with only 3 points. But the Celtics only come up with 5 points. And so at the half, the Celtics hold a slim 50-48 lead here in game 1. So let's roll for game 2. 63 and a 62. 63 for 9 points. 62 for 8 points. And so the Celtics with a slim 1-point lead. 52 for Philadelphia. 7 points minus 2 is 5. Boston picks up 8 points. And so the Celtics lead by 4. 45. That's 9 points. That's a strong section right there. 9 points. Celtics with only 5. And so we're tied here at 71. 35 to end the third quarter. 35 for 8. Boston with 45 for 9. So after 3 quarters, this one is closer than we thought, folks. 76 is hanging in there. It's 80-79. Into the fourth quarter we go. 62. That's going to be 8 points minus 2. That's 6, so that's the last modification for them. And 10 points for the Celtics as they start to pull away, 90-85. 56 for both teams, so that's 11 points for everybody. And the Celtics lead by 5. 54 for 9 points. And a 62 for 8 points. Philadelphia trimming that lead. It's down to 4. 1 roll left. Here it is. 61 for 7 points. And the Celtics, oh, the big finish here. 11 points. And the Celtics will go on to take game 1, 120-112. If I did everything right, hopefully my math is correct, but that's what I got for a score here. And that's how you play it out. So let's go to game 2. Let's just get right into this. Let's fly through game 2 here. Here's the first roll. 53. 8 minus 6 is 2 for the Sixers. Oh, it's a 52. I'm sorry, that was a 52. 52 minus 2 is 5 for the Celtics. So 6-5. So another lead off the bat for the Sixers. A 61 this time. 61. So that is 7 minus 2 is 5. Boston with a 52. Again. And that gives them 7 this time. So Celtics lead 12-11. 43. 7 points. And Boston picks up 8. So they add to their lead. As the first quarter comes to a close, 6 points for the Sixers and 7 for Boston. So Boston has a 3-point lead after the first quarter here in game 2. Close game. So we start off the second quarter. Is 9 minus 1 is 8. And Boston with a 12. There it is. That's the maximum you can get in a 3-minute segment. So they are now starting to walk away with this one here in the second quarter. Can the Sixers come back? Yeah, they do. So they're going to pick up 11 points at this juncture. And Boston with a 41 only picks up 5. So it's now a 1-point game. The Sixers are not going away. 2 and 4 minus 2 is 4 points. 35 for Boston gives them 8. And then we got one final roll at the half. And they both get 9 points. 6 and a 3 for a 9. A 6 and a 3 for a 9. So at the half, it's the Celtics 61 and Philadelphia 56. Let's go into the third quarter. Not a good roll. Philadelphia, if they want to get back into this, they need to roll some high numbers. Boston with 5 as well. 66-61 Boston. Ooh, that's terrible. So that's a 1 and a 2 minus 2. That's only 1 point. That was a terrible sequence for Philadelphia on the road. And now they fall behind by quite a bit. Yeah, that was a 9-point swing right there. 31. That's not going to get them back in the game for 4 points. The Celtics with 5 points. And now the third quarter finishes up. 14 for 5. And not very good for the Celtics 3. But it's still 84-71 as we go to the fourth quarter. Celtics trying to take both games at home. That's a 41. So that's 5 points. Minus 2 is 3. And 13 gives us 4 points for the Celtics. See how this game moves right along. I like this. I like rolling dice. This is really fun. 6 minus 2 is 8. And 8 for the Celtics. And what's really fun, too, is you can see the game progress, how you got it quarter by quarter, and you see it now. So it's 96-82. Celtics kind of walking away with this. So you can see how the game's just slipping away from Philadelphia here. So it does feel like you're actually watching a game. And 61 for 7. So that should do it. Yeah, I don't think they can't make up that many points at the end. So they'll roll 9. And the Celtics roll 5. They kill the clock at the end. And that'll do it. So 108-99, a much different game here as the Celtics pull away. So they won the first one by 8, and they won this one by, 9. They only won by 9, so it was somewhat close. So the Celtics take Game 1 and Game 2. They lead this series 2-0. So now we go to Philadelphia. So things are a little bit different now as we go to Philadelphia. So the Celtics roll first, and I'll just keep the dice the same, and I'll just read the Celtics still as the green. So we're going to roll the dice here. So 2 and a 4 for Boston. So they start off the game with 6 points. And wow, 56 for Philadelphia. They start off with 11. Minus 2 is 9. So, yeah, so it's 9-6 Philadelphia at home. Second roll is a 33 for Boston. That gives them 6 points. And 65. Holy cow. Sixers riding high at home. So they lead this one 20-12 right out of the gate. Boston, though, with a 65 as Bird and company try to come back. So that's 65. So that's 11 minus 2 is 9. And it's 5 and 1 for 6. And so 26-21. Last roll of the first quarter. And Boston with a poor roll of 3. And Philadelphia with the same roll. They got a 1 and a 2, so they're for 3. So after the first quarter here in Game 3, Sixers are leading by 5. Start the second quarter. 32 for Boston is good for 5 points. 45 is good for 9 minus 2 is 7 points for the Sixers. Let's roll again. 14 for Boston. They are not playing very good on the road here. They're playing catch-up. 3 and 1 for 4 points. So the Sixers lead this one by 6. 44. That's 8 for Boston, but they have the 2 penalty here, so that only gives them 6 points. And 7 points for Philadelphia. So Philadelphia tacks on a point. Now they lead by 7. Time running out here in the half. Oh, Boston with a 1 and a 1. That's as low as you can get. And Philadelphia with a 2 and a 5 gives them 7. So this is a big lead for Philadelphia. So Philadelphia is cruising in this game 3. They lead this one by 12 at the half. So we start the third quarter. Boston with a 2-5. Gives them 7 points. Philadelphia with 8. So Philadelphia is just tacking up. Oh, they minus 2, though, so that only gives them the 6. So Boston gains a point here in the third quarter. Boston with a 3-1. Boston rolling very poorly here in Philadelphia on the road. A 5 and a 6. Oh, boy, that might do it. This little run here in the third quarter might actually give Philadelphia this game. Yes, that's another one, another 11 points. So 2 and 5 for Boston minus 2 gives them 5. A 5 and a 6 again gives Philadelphia 11. And they are just cruising over the Celtics here in Game 3. Boston ends the third quarter with 5 points. Philadelphia with 9. So look at that third quarter by the 76ers. They are destroying Boston here. We go to the fourth quarter. This one's not even a game, folks. Celtics trying to get back in it with 11 points. But 7-6 for Philadelphia. So Boston cuts the lead a little bit, 97-74. But they're going to need some killer rolls here. And they're not going to get it. Not with a 2-2. And Philadelphia with a 2-3 for 5. Another roll. 45 for Boston. Gives them 9. I'm sorry, that's a 51 for Boston. 51 for Boston. And 45. Hopefully I didn't screw up any of those rolls. I'm reading them upside down, so I might have. So if I made any mistakes, it's early in the morning still over here. And the final roll, 16 for Boston. And even if I did mess up in that quarter, it really wouldn't have mattered. Boston was so far behind. Oh, jeepers, look at that. So things are much different in Game 3. The series is now 2-1 as the Sixers destroy the Celtics, 122 to 94. And that's how this game can go. If you roll some poor numbers, so look at the numbers here. Look at the, a 9, 11, 7, 7, 11, 11, 9. Boston only had one double-digit segment in this game. So, yeah, that's a big deal. So let's go to game 4. Sixers are back in the series. Celtics, a 1 and a 4. We're reading the green dice. That gives them 5. And the Sixers a 1 and a 5. So the Sixers, -2, though. So that gives them 4 points. So Celtics lead early, 5-4. 1 and a 4 again for Boston. They are rolling some yuck numbers. And 2 and a 3 for 5. Game is still close here, 10-9. 35 for Boston. That's 8 - 2 is 6. 4 and a 1 gives us 5. 52 for Boston in the first quarter. 52 gives them 7. And 62 gives them 8. And the score is 23-22 Boston after the first quarter. So Boston actually has a little bit of advantage here because they only -4 and Philadelphia is -5. So it's a slim advantage to Boston moving forward. We start the second quarter. 62, that's much better. So if you're a Celtics fan, you got to like that. That's 8 points. That's what they needed. Philadelphia with a 1 and a 3. Now they -2, so that only gives them 2 points. So Boston with a little bit of a jump, 31-24. We roll again. 41, very average roll, below average roll, gives them 5 points. And a 12. Oh, Philadelphia. They are slumping here in the second quarter. Boston with a 61. So that gives them 7 - 2 is 5. And a 42 over here. That gives them 6. So Philadelphia picks up a point. And the last roll of the first half. That's going to be 8 for Boston. 3 and 5. 8 for Boston. And 1 and 5 and 6 for Philadelphia. So at the half, Celtics lead by 10 in this one. Philadelphia, very different game here in game 4. So let's go the second half with the Celtics up by 10 points. Oh, strong start to the second half by the Celtics, racking up 10. Philadelphia with 4 and 3. 7 - 2 is 5. 1 and 3 for Boston for 4. 10 points for Philadelphia. That was a good 3-minute stretch by the Sixers. So they've cut this down to a 9-point game. Oh, boy, another 11 for Boston. They mean business. 11 - 2 is 9, but only 4 points for Philadelphia. And it's our final roll of the third quarter. Boston was 7. And Philadelphia, 5 and a 3 will give them 8. So after 3 quarters, the Celtics looking to take a commanding 3-1 series lead. They lead this one 79-66. Let's go to the fourth quarter. Boston right out of the gate with 9 points. Philadelphia only comes up with 7, and they got to subtract 1. That gives them 6. So the Celtics tack on 3 to their lead. A 31 for Boston. That gives them 4 points. 7 for Philadelphia. We got 2 rolls left. Sixers trail. Oh, big roll there. So 2 and a 2 is 4. And 10 points for the Sixers. They might have clawed back in this one. 96-89. They're going to need a pretty hefty roll here. They trail with 1 roll left in the game. And 7 points, that should be good enough to give the Celtics the win. And, yeah, just a 3 at the end here. It does not do it. So, Boston comes back and takes game 4. So they lead this series now 3-1, heading back home to game 5. So let's take a look at our scores, shall we? So we have game 1, Boston with a 120-112 win. In game 2, a 108-99 win. Game 3, Philadelphia came back 122-94. But here in game 4, it was Celtics pulling this one out by 11 points, 103-92. So let's go to game 5. Game 5 in Boston. A Boston win, and they take the series. So here we go. And we roll. 45 for Philadelphia. That's 9 points. -2 is 7. Boston with 4 and 4. 8 - 2 gives them 6. 53 for Philadelphia. 8 points -2 is 6. 5 points for Boston. And remember, these modifications, we did this before the game. These numbers here are when you compare the home or road offense of your team against the home or road defense of the other team, okay? And then you do the same for the visitors is what you do. So that's how you come up with these modifications. You can put them in basically any column. They say not to put it in the gray columns at the end of the quarter, so you want to put them in here. And that's kind of the home field advantage. So in case you were wondering where these came from, that's where they came from. So Philadelphia is actually ahead in this one, 13-11, as they fight for their playoff lives. 32 is 5. Boston, though, with 9 points. Parrish and McHale coming up big for the Celtics. And they take a lead here. First quarter ends, 10 by Philadelphia. That's a good one. And 9 for Boston. So it's close. Celtics with a 1-point lead here in Game 5, trying to close out the series. Philadelphia rolling a 3 and a 5. -1 is 7. Boston is 4 and 2 for 6. Celtics, it's tied now. Okay. 2 and a 5. 7 points for the Sixers. Boston only comes up with 5. The slipping here in the second quarter. 2-point lead for Philadelphia. Oh, not a good roll for the Sixers, though. They only pick up 1 point. The Celtics pick up 10, and that could be a key factor here in the game. We might remember that later on. 0-11, the Sixers tiring here at the end of the half. And Boston takes a 9-point lead into the third quarter. So Celtics with up by 9, trying to add to that lead and put the Sixers away. 2 and 4 is 6 points. But the Celtics come up with 9. They come out of the break with 9 points each team. No, 1 and 1. So here's where this comes in here. 1 and 1 is 2, so they get 0. That is not what you want. The Celtics only pick up 2, so they might have dodged a bullet, Philadelphia. We roll the dice again. 11 for Philadelphia. That's what they needed to get back into this game. Boston picking up 7 points. And it's now a 10-point game. 9 points for Philadelphia as we end the third quarter. And Boston with 8 points. So they're still a little bit ahead. They lead by 9. We go to the fourth quarter. 4 rolls left. It could be 4 rolls left in the 76ers season, folks. Each team with a 10, but we have to subtract 2 for Philadelphia, so they only get 8. Boston will get the full 10 here at home. Celtics now cruising. 6-1 is 7 points, but the Celtics get 8 points, and that might just do it, folks. A 7-5-2 is 7. I think Philadelphia's going to come up short here. 11 points. The Celtics burying that ball from all over the court, and they're going to walk away with this one. Yes, they are. And again, I'm not using the close game factor, which probably would have benefited the Celtics in this one. I just want a straight-up roll. And another 11. Holy cow. So the Celtics blow them out here in Game 5, 120-98, a 22-point win. So the Celtics will take this playoff series 4-1. Let's just recap our scores here in Game 1. Celtics won 120-112. And then, in Game 2, 108-99. We go to Philadelphia. Philadelphia did take Game 3, 122-94. But the Celtics took the final 2. Game 4, 103-92. And then Game 5, 22-point win, 120-98. Game 6 and 7 weren't needed. So, yeah, so this was fun. This is a good time. It was quick. I got to roll a lot of dice. And this is the basic mode of regular season basketball, and I'm really enjoying this game. I did a first look video on my channel earlier, so go look for that if you want to learn more about this game. Next time I'll factor in some the close game factor, and I'll probably do some stats as well. So I'll be doing more videos of this game in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this one, especially if you're a Celtics fan. But I'm Dave. Have a good day. Bye-bye.